Asha, co-workers, fellow travelers, other beings, and all matriarchs of this planet at every level. It is not that there is a dark period of time, Kali Yuga, as it is mentioned in so called holy scriptures. It is not that this world is full of crisis, political crisis, religious crisis, spiritual crisis, environmental crisis. But the real crisis is even more deeper than that. What it is? What is it? There is crisis in human psychology. The real crisis is not outside, but inside the man. The problem of crisis, human disintegration, human deterioration, human degradation, is not lying outside but inside the human consciousness. The crisis is in human consciousness, not in the time. You have always time to break it down. Otherwise, great mighty teacher would not give the teachings if they have to wait the right time. There is never right time or wrong time because time itself does not play any role to begin a fresh life. If you depend on time, then you will never be able to break down the vicious circle of time. Human consciousness is going through tremendous crisis. This you must understand. What it is. What is the crisis? Real crisis. And since human consciousness is going through tremendous crises, man is blaming to other crises. Corona crisis, political, economical, religious disorder, which are coming directly from the human consciousness disorder, human consciousness crisis, which is filled by darkness, which is filled by Kali Yuga. Kal means yesterday, past. Yuga means period, time. Kali Yuga means the past. The human consciousness is itself is Kali Yuga, not Kali Yuga is existing outside. And this is a naked fact. If you could see it, that The real problem, the real consciousness is the crisis. Then you will start stopping putting your things on outside crises. Why human conscious is filled by Kali Yuga, the dark period, the dark time? Why consciousness of man is filled why consciousness is totally covered up by time? What is time? And unless this time is removed, this past is removed, consciousness is going to manifest in thousands of accidents, physically as well as psychologically. Physically, many diseases, because through wrong eating, the body will be destroyed. Wrong habits, and psychologically, depressions, fear will kill you, will destroy your human intelligence, which is the mind, universal mind, which is away from the brain, beyond the consciousness. This brain, which is intelligence, can only operate the human brain when the human brain is free from the past consciousness, the factors of consciousness which are covered the brain cells. Brain cells has to be totally empty, cleansed. Then the mind, which is sacred, can operate and use your brain. And then when the mind operates, that is the intelligence which then connects man to man, human to human. There is no friction. There is no time factors then. Why is human consciousness is now condensed by so many crises? Because there is no momentum. There is stagnation in your consciousness. You are only gathering. And when the water is gathered and cannot move, then it starts stinking, deteriorating its purity. Thousands of viruses and bacteria take place. And the level of oxygen gets down. The momentum of the water stream creates more oxygen in it. The momentum, the movement of water force doesn't allow to grow the dirt, bacteria in the water. It refresh itself through the momentum. And human consciousness has no momentum because the consciousness got caught stagnation in static position. It is static, no movement. Static happens when you live in the structure. Structures is like that when you live in a room, the wall around is the structure. The walls limits the room in which you live. You can't move much, only few meters. And that becomes your habits, where you find the security in this small space. And when you find and establish a security, then you feel comfortable in this small space limitations. Then your life is the repetition of yesterday. Each day you repeat the same things. Each day you eat the same stuff. Each day you pursue your thought in the same direction till you die. That is the story of your consciousness. And this consciousness then contributes to the reservoir of human consciousness, because it is not your consciousness, but it is the consciousness of all mankind, of all human beings, all beings. So, if you think in one corner of the earth and the other person who is living in thousands of kilometers away from your place, or the other person is living in other direction, you all then pour the volume in the reservoir of human consciousness, and it increases. The volume increases. When the flood comes, what happens to the lakes? Lots of small streams of river join the lake, and the lake becomes huge. The flood, the rivers become devastating. Similarly happens. And 8 billion people, more than 8 billion people, inhabitants, are every minute, every second, in sleeping or in waking states, contributing it, putting their stuff. And the stuff is similar thought, different languages, but the contents same. Every, including your so-called religious, spiritual people, also contributing, because they have more forces of their consciousness is even more filled and condensed. as prominents and celebrities of material and celebrities of spiritual at every level, political level or industrial level or at the level of knowledge, all are, they are even more egoistic. You will surprise, don't you? They are more arrogant. You see their behavior. They contribute more because they collect 1,000 and million times more than you. You collect only small things, one house, two house, or one, two car, or one wife or husband. They collect thousands times more than you. They have one flat in India, another flat in France and London and New York and Germany. You have one bank balance account only. They have one account in Swiss bank, one is in Panama Papers, Panama Papers. Other is in many other countries, America, Japan, Singapore, everywhere. Celebrities and prominents at every level are contributing more evil energy. And you regard them, don't you? That's why I say don't regard. That's why I say to you, refuse to respect them. It doesn't mean that you disrespect or hate them. Refuse to accept power and refuse any promise which is given by an authority of spiritual who says, I will help you. Refuse the help. When you refuse the help, at that moment, your legs get tremendous strength to climb the Himalayas. Then your tremendous strength starts awakening. Never ever ask any help at any level. Of course, material level, one can exchange food, money, houses, shelter, clothes, transportation. That is understandable and also sane and fine. But at psychological level, spiritual level, never, ever ask for the help, and even if somebody gives you, refuse it. At that moment you are transformed. Therefore, there is no time, good time that will support you. There is no good society existing and has never existed. Perhaps that time was better people. The majority of goodness was stronger. But now, due to propaganda and advertisement and continuous bombardment, human brain became very weak, became very shallow, superficial, fearful. That is the difference. And it is due to one direction only. When you are pursuing only one direction, and only one sense is working, which is thought only, then it is going to happen. Now the crisis is all over the world. Man is suffering tremendously. Psychologically, tremendous. Depression is increasing, mushrooming. In India, much depression. I have seen the faces in India. I was very much shocked. Because in India, I was all over the world, every corner on our planet. Was what I have noticed is that in India, even the poorest of poor person still can laugh. In the remote villages, sometimes they don't have food for a day, only one meal a day, but they can still smile so beautifully. That is, I haven't found anywhere in other corners of this earth. And I was shocked that it is now people forgetting to smile. People were so indifferent, so busy in their self things, totally isolated, and their faces were lifeless, so withdrawn in their own busy on family's affair. The self is tremendous growing there. In the Western world, they have tremendous money, clean water, food. Everything is so clean that cleanliness is killing man here. There is no life. They only work for material things from morning to evening. This is their life. And evening, they come tired, tortured from the office and drink beer and sleep to get up early morning to repeat the same things and waiting for the weekend to get drunk and take alcohol. And depression is also, burnout is tremendous spreading here. What has happened to mankind? It shows the tremendous human consciousness is going through crisis. Therefore, there is no crisis outside. All crises are born from the crisis of consciousness. Human consciousness is the mother which gives the birth to all other crises in the world. Therefore, you must end this consciousness crisis by understanding the factors of consciousness, its contents. Understanding means you must watch. We tremendously alert. Because the things are so dangerous, the moment you are not alert, your brain will be influenced immediately. You must be attentive at all time, not through effort, but because effort is the part of your consciousness, part of thought, not through effort, but we alert because this is what is needed. This is what life demands from you. Only tremendous alertness, without motivation, without direction, without movements, without gaining any profit out of this attention, that you will get this and that, which is the part of your consciousness. Getting is the part of greed, which is your consciousness itself. Don't fall again in the trap of what you will get. This language never use, never ever, what you will get. Because this is the language of exploiter who will say you will get peace, you will get this and that, you will get the place in the heaven very near to the God. The Guru will protect you. This is the language of so-called spiritual authority. Be careful. I am here to awake your intelligence. I am not giving you any formulas, structures, and know-how. Know-how how to be attentive is destructive. There is no know-how. A person who offers you know-how, be careful. Never be a proud, because proud is arrogance and evil. Never be something, never become something. Because becoming is filling your consciousness, is strengthening your consciousness. Just empty your consciousness. Empty it. So the vast space can be uncovered and your consciousness then is free. And that freedom is essential. This freedom, this very freedom knows no time. You must be free from the time. Time elements, the main cause pushing you, pulling you, putting the pressure, stress, strain. Because everybody is manipulating you through time. Break down the time. It's the beginning of love. Namaste.